Hello. Um, so my name is Mabel Benvenuti, and today I'm gonna be talking about two ideas related to the oral language development that I feel makes sense. So I watched two videos. One of the videos was the evidence-based academic discussion, and the other one was the fact or opinion, an integrated ELD lesson. I found these two videos very relatable since I do teach an SLD class as my student teacher internship. And a lot of these things that they were talking about, I have gone through. So one of the things that I did see that both of these lessons did, and it really makes sense to me, was stating that the students would be the ones to lead the lesson, not the teacher. So the teacher will only prompt students to begin, but they will be the ones that will lead the lesson in regards to getting their own answers. Another thing that I really liked is the use of student to student discussions and in-class discussions. So they have so in this case they can bounce off ideas each other, and for those students that still having issues in being able to speak the English language, the teacher in one of the videos would pair her students with proficient students. So ELL students would be proficient. So those proficient students will be able to help them with pronunciation, explaining what the word means instead of the teacher doing it. So the students will have a tendency to work more with each other. And that is a lot that I've seen here as well. And it really does help out because students have a tendency to relate more to their peers than to the teacher. Um, I do like the idea of students discussing like their research and ideas and opinions. That was another thing that I did see on the video for evidence-based academic discussion. So the students would either read or look up information and then discuss it with their group before doing any kind of presentation. So this would give an opportunity for every student to speak their mind and give their opinion without being ridiculed or made fun of because of them not being able to speak the language. And I think this is a really good thing because that way the people of their group would be able to assist that one student if he or she is having difficulty in pronouncing the words or understanding the meaning of the words. Um, Another thing that I did see is when they are doing in-class discussion. So if a group is presenting, which this is also something I can relate to, and it really makes sense to me, is when students are presenting any kind of information and they get a little bit stuck in the middle, other students in the class can actually jump in and help them by providing information. So I can give you an example of that. So we did just recently a an illustration of pictures in one of my in the student teaching class. Sorry, and the students were to look at an image, look at a picture, and they were to not describe the picture, but basically tell the class the meaning of that picture. So if a student was having difficulty and they would only describe the picture, so say if it, for example, it was a teddy bear sitting in a chair on an empty room, and that's what they would write, the students would jump in and they would give their own opinion of what they believed the image was talking about. So they would assist the students in seeing more than what the image was saying. So that was a great way for them to assist each other and help each other in seeing that. Uh, One thing that I really loved, and this is on the facts or opinion and integrated ELD lesson, was that the teacher had a set of rules when doing a discussion. So the students would each give an opportunity to talk, but the others had to follow certain rules. So, in other words, they would listen, They would focus on the student as they were talking. They would not interrupt the student while they were talking. Um, and if they were having difficulty in pronouncing or saying a word, they would help assist the student in how to pronounce the word correctly. If the student was to talk and they didn't understand what the student was trying to say, the the group would request them to say it again in a slower way so that the group would understand. And then more than anything, I believe this is to make everybody feel comfortable as they're talking, because talking in a group can be a little nerve-wracking, especially if you don't know the language. So I think this is a great skill that can be utilized, in which the group would only talk among themselves before they actually walk in front of the class to give a presentation. So though if a student is struggling and they don't want to talk, you can probably encourage them, say, hey, come on, I'll help you. So you can begin and I'll finish, and so on and so forth. So this way, it's a great way for them to have more trust in themselves, more confidence in speaking English a little bit better, or any other language. Another thing that I really did like was that the students questioned each other and they provided evidence to their answers. So in this case, the students would say, "Oh, this banana is yellow." Then this is during the facts or opinion. So they would take it one step further and say, "Well, if you're saying this banana is yellow, how can you prove to me that it's yellow?" So it was for them to actually look at the text as they were reading. Um, So the student might be able to read the text, but not really express to the idea that they wanted to say. So maybe, that's another way that they can practice their oral language development. Having them speak more the language little by little, and just correct them on their pronunciation, to try and get them to talk a little bit more. Um, and I believe that's the points that I can most relate to, because, like I mentioned before, I have seen this in my own class. I've seen students struggle when they try to speak the language and they are unable to do so. So I think what I saw in these two courses, these two ELD courses, I can really relate, and I can probably apply in the classroom, because this is something that's already being done. So I think we can probably take it one step further, in which we can encourage the students to actually not be discouraged to speak the language, especially if they don't know how to pronounce it, but actually help them along by placing them with students that are proficient, and they can help them with the pronunciation and the meaning of the words as they read along. So that is my view on these two concepts. The why they actually caught my attention, and how they influenced my teaching. So I do see this as something that I will apply in the future in my own classroom with ELD students, helping them with students, place them with students that are a little bit more proficient and that can assist them, since I may have a room full of students and they can help me do one-on-ones with them. And like I mentioned before, students have a tendency to be more open with other students than with the teacher. So this would be a great way not only to help them develop their own language, but to build a trustworthy environment in the classroom. Thank you for your time.